Maher would bring the following story to light. A Muslim woman sued Florida because the state, per the Orlando Sentinel, suspended her license when she refused to have her photo taken without an Islamic veil.
God bless Sultana, but there's a separation of church and state in America. And if the state asks you to take your veil off, to be photographed, then you bloody well do that.
Boots Riley quickly becomes the only person on the show who, with 15 years of hindsight, doesn't sound like a total a-hole. While Maher is working out some of his signature borderline Islamophobic material, and the other guests seem to just nod along in agreement, Boots Riley would point out that removing the woman's hijab only became an issue after 9/11, and is just one of many reactionary xenophobic initiatives the state is trying to enforce.
What you're not mentioning, though, that should be said, before September 11th, she was given 2 driver's licenses wearing her veil, and it wasn't a problem. Right. But now it only became a problem because of who she is.
Riley would go on to say the show was choreographed more than people think, adding, quote, "It's probably at the same level that many of the reality shows are. The producers do interviews with people beforehand and ask you what you think about certain things. Then they go back and do another round of interviews and tell you what other people said. And then they ask different people to do different roles." What was interesting was that on that show, there's that comedian, and he was making fun of my hand gestures. I forget his name, Harlan or something. The dude that's on one of the first Dave Chappelle movies. Riley would continue reflecting to the Chicago Reader. So that's what that was like. I've seen so many people go on Bill Maher. I wasn't the first rapper on there. I've seen everybody go on there, and every time they'd say some slightly racist quip, and people would laugh along and not want to say anything that might get them uninvited from the show. Snoop was on there, and Snoop was like, "I got 3 kids," and Maher's like, "That you know of."
The greatness of this country is based on the separation of church and state. That is what makes this country great. You don't impose your religious views on state government. You do not do that in this country.
We don't walk in. We don't do that. We don't do that.
We don't want to do that.
That's done all the time.
No, we don't want to do that.
Well, that's just flat out insane from the TV star. Our government is infected throughout time with the illusion of the separation, but it is not practiced. Then this jabroni would go even further when it did not have to get to this point, nor be uttered.
He wants to drive. They want the best part of America, the modernity. They want all the good stuff. They want to have a cell phone to call to say, "Hey guys, come over to the beheading."
An Islamophobic racist is Maher. Always has been, always will be.